Namaste students. So today I am going to start a new lesson, review of C++ programming, and here chapter 5, review of C++ programming. So last year you studied about C++ programming. In last year's syllabus, C++ programming up to functions and structures, arrays and all those things are there. And here before starting C++ programming concepts or review of C++ programming concept, just I want to recollect all those things. And here, C++ programming developed by Bjarne Stroustrup in 1980. Actually, it is the next version of C programming. C programming, it is designed, it's around 1970s. Dennis Ritchie and Richard Cunningham, those who designed C programming language. And here, under C programming language designed by Bjarne Stroustrup in 1980s, and there are some points regarding to this one. So what are the characteristics of C++? Actually C++ is a superset of C programming language. So what are the programs designed under C program that is executable or that is compatible in C++ programming, and vice versa is not. That means the program designed under C++ is not executable under C programming language. So there are some characteristics of C++. So first one is object-oriented programming. So last class you studied about object-oriented programming. There are many informations regarding to object-oriented programming. There are some what we can say characteristics like class, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, and then encapsulation, data hiding, etc. These are all characteristics of object-oriented programming. So characteristics of C++ is object-oriented programming, right? So that means C++ follows object-oriented programming, and under C++ programming, it is which focuses on data instead of functions. And next one is portability. Portability means we can run C++ program in any platform, like in any operating system, and we can carry such softwares from one place to another. So that's why we can say C++ is, one of the characteristics of C++ is portability. And next one is brevity. So what do you mean by brevity? So last class you studied about brevity also. Brevity means C++ it uses many operators, and the purpose of operator is to reduce the number of lines of coding in C++. That means it is very easy to execute a program. It's very easy to design a program. So it is called as brevity. And next point is modular programming. You know that modular means, according to concept of modularity means, given program is divided into number of pieces and each piece must be individually manageable one. It is called as modularity or modular programming. So what happens is, according to top-down approach, given program, for example, we have a program like this. Program means set of instructions or set of programs, and according to this one, given program is divided into number of pieces and each piece must be individually manageable one. That means independent program segments, right? Independent program segment, and these individual pieces are called as modules. Individual pieces are called as modules, and that concept is called as modularity. That concept is called as modularity. Okay, here modular programming is one of the characteristics of C++. Next one is C compatibility. C compatibility means, so what are the programs designed under C programming language that is executable in C++ program also. Overall, it's already, I explained that C++ is a superset of C. So what are the programs designed under C program that is executable under C++? Next, speed. So C++ programming language provides a speed, that means very fast we can execute a program. That means execution time is very low, and of course it is space complexity. Next one is machine independent. We can run C++ program in any other operating system like under Linux, Unix, Fedora Core, and then Windows 95, 98, up to 2000, Windows 7, Vista, and then Windows 10, etc. These are all operating systems, and C++ is executable in all other operating systems, right? Next one is flexibility. C++ provides flexibility in its programming. That means we can change our program without changing the whole content. Next one is wide range of library functions. See, compared to C, Simula 67, any other programming language, C++ provides many library functions like math.h, stdio.h. These are all header files. So under header files, there are many functions defined. For example, under math.h header file, it provides sine function, cos function, tan function, logarithmic function, cosecant function, and absolute function, f absolute functions, etc. Okay, these are about wide range of library functions. Next point is about system software development. By using C++ programming language, we can design our own system softwares, or we can design any antivirus software, or we can design any other linker, loader, assembler, etc. These programming language or system software can be developed by using C++ programming language. Okay, these are about characteristics of C++, and characteristics of C++ is very important in last year's syllabus also, and this year also it is very important. You can expect such questions for 3 marks, right? Next one, C++ character set. See, C++ which supports some character set. Character set means what are the characters allowed by using keyboard to the system, to this programming language. It is called as character set. See, some character sets are digits 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. So we can include 0 to 9 digits, and under keyboard also 0 to 9 keys are there. So using such keys we can provide input to the C++ program. Next, alphabets capital A to Z and lowercase a to z. It is allowed, capital A to Z and lowercase a to z. Next character set is some special characters. Some special characters are treated as operators in C++ programming, and some special characters are used for some specific purpose. For example, some special characters are hash, then question mark, greater than symbol, less than symbol, full stop, hyphen, etc. These are all special characters. And some special characters are used for some specific purpose. For example, we can use it as a keyword, and it is used to perform some certain operations. So it is called as special characters. So under character set, there are 3 character sets: digits, alphabets, and special characters. Next, we'll go on with this one, C++ tokens. So last year you studied about C++ tokens. So what do you mean by a token? A token is a smallest individual unit in a program, or we can say lexical unit. Smallest individual unit in a program or lexical unit. See, in any case or in any instruction, for example, normally in any C programming language we are using like this: hash include iostream.h. Whenever you are going to divide the given instructions into some small pieces or tiny pieces, what happens is each characters can be depicted like this: hash, I, N, C, L, U, D, E, like this. And here each symbol or each character, what are the characters given by the keyboard, it comes under one of these tokens. See, it may be identifiers, keywords, constants or literals, operators, or punctuator. So here first one is identifiers. Here identifier is a program element. Identifier is a program element like arrays, functions or variables. Arrays, functions or variables, it is called as identifiers. And identifiers we can change the contents. Next one is keyword. So keyword means in C++ programming or in any other programming language, there are some reserved words having some predefined meaning to the compiler. It is called as keywords. And next one is constant. Constants or literals. Actually, constant is a quantity which does not change during execution of a program. It is called as constants or literals. So next one is operator. So what do you mean by an operator? So there are different types of operator. An operator is a symbol, or we can say group of characters used to perform some operation. It is called as operator. There are three types of operators: unary operator, binary operator, and third one is tertiary operator. Okay, these are about operators. Next, last one is punctuators. Punctuators are used to prepare some output, or we can say there are some other definitions also there. Some punctuators are this one, double quotes, single quote, and some punctuators are open flower parentheses, square brackets, and curly brace, like this. These are all punctuators. So next one, identifiers. It's one of the C++ tokens. So what is an identifier? An identifier is a name given to the program elements such as variables, arrays, functions, etc. That means it is user defined variable. That means user can define his own variable name. Actually, there are some rules to implement variables. So what are the rules here? See, first one is to define an identifier. An identifier should begin with an alphabet, either capital A to Z or lowercase a to z, or an underscore. That means, see, I am using this int a. We can define like this. It's an identifier, or we can define a1. It's allowed, or we can define underscore a1, and we can define underscore capital A1 like this. It's an identifier. See, here first letter, that must be an alphabet. It may be A, lowercase a, uppercase a, or an underscore. Here it is allowed, and here also allowed, and underscore A1 is also allowed. That means lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and underscore. Now, is it possible to define int 1a instead of a1? Int 1a. 1a means, see, whenever you are going to define an identifier, first letter must be an alphabet. It should not be digit. So, in case if you are going to define like this, int 1a, and this type of declaration is not allowed in C++ programming. Right? See, should begin with an alphabet, either capital A to Z or lowercase a to Z or an underscore. And next point is, C++ treats uppercase and lowercase letters differently. That means it is case sensitive. C++ programming language is case sensitive. C programming language also is case sensitive. That means which treats uppercase, lowercase letters differently. So A is not same as A. See, in case if you are going to define int A and int capital A. So A, lowercase a is different from capital A or uppercase A. It's another type of case sensitive. Next, no special characters is allowed except underscore. There are many special characters like hash and then question mark, etc. Many special characters except underscore. It's not possible to use other special characters. So underscore can be used to define identifier, and all other characters like here question mark and then hashtag, dollar symbol, and any other characters are not allowed in C++ programming. Next one is, a keyword cannot be used for naming an identifier. See here, consider this instruction or this statement, int a1 underscore a1. It is allowed. Here int is a keyword. Int is a keyword. So what do you mean by a keyword? Keyword means in C++ or any other programming language, there are some sequence of letters having some, or we can say reserved words having some predefined meaning to the compiler. That means such letters or such words having some meaning in any other compiler or in any other programming language. Such words we cannot use for naming an identifier. So, it is another rule. A keyword cannot be used for naming an identifier. We can give an example like this. Int int 1, int 2, etc. Here int is a keyword that is to specify the integer variable, and next we are going to define int, sin, cos. Such variable declaration is not allowed in C++ because these are all already treated as keywords. Keywords cannot be used as an identifier. And last rule is blank space is not allowed. Whenever you are going to declare an identifier or a variable or array or function name, etc., we cannot insert, it's not possible to insert blank space. See, in case you are going to define int first, next you are going to insert a blank space, first number. Such declaration is not allowed in C++ programming because here first blank space number, and such declaration is not allowed. It is one of the rules under identifiers. Okay, these are about identifiers. So an identifier is a name given to the program elements such as arrays, functions, variables, etc. Okay, next move on to keywords. See, in C++ programming language, there are some reserved words having some predefined meaning to the compiler, and such words are called as keywords. See, some keywords are, you can say auto, int, float, and double, and sometimes you can use if, while, for. These are all keywords. Keywords means it's already defined by the compiler in its meaning and its definition already defined and developed by C++ compiler developer. We can't use in our program as an identifier or any other purpose. Okay, these are about keywords. Okay, next concept is, our next token is constants, and it is also called as literals. So literals or constants means it's a quantity which does not change during execution of a program. It is called as constants or literals. So broadly we can classify into two types of constants. One is numeric constant, second one is non-numeric constants. As its name indicates, numeric constant means it includes numbers or digits. Non-numeric constant means except digits like it may use alphabets or any other characters, alphabets, symbols, etc. And of course it may include character also, digits also. Okay, these are about numeric and non-numeric constants. Next, under numeric constants there are two types, integer constant and floating point constant. So what do you mean by integer constant? See, under integer constant it includes any variable which is assigned by any integer value except the values after decimal point. That means fractional parts are not allowed under this one, integer constant. Such constant is called as integer constant. So integer constant means it includes only the numbers without fractional part. It is called as integer constant. So under integer constant there are four types: decimal constant, octal constant, hexadecimal constant, and unsigned constant. See, first one is decimal constant. It is also called as base 10. That means under decimal number system, it uses digits 0 to 9, and here base means total number of elements available in that number system is called as base. So here it uses 10 digits, so it is called as decimal number system. So in case if you are going to define any decimal constant, it begins with the non-zero number. For example, int a equal to 15 or int b equal to 468, like this. Any number without 0. That means int x equal to 017, and this type of definition in decimal constant is not allowed. So decimal constant means it begins with non-zero digit. It may include minus or plus. That means any signed values. It may be negatively signed or positively signed. It's not a problem. int a equal to minus 15 or plus 15 allowed. Here first digit should be 1 to 9 except 0. If it is 0, it is treated as octal number system or a octal constant. That means base 8. So it's about decimal constant. Next one is octal constant. As it's already indicated that it is base 8. That means it uses 8 digits. So octal number system or octal constant, int a or any other number m equal to, it should begin with 0, 0, 1, 5, 0, 1, 5, and say in case if I am going to give, I am giving n equal to minus 0, 1, 9. Say you just look at this, int m equal to 0, 1, 5. 0, 1, 5 means 0 indicates, here prefix is 0, 0 indicates we are using octal number system or octal constant, 0 indicates octal constant, and under octal constants it uses 0 to 7 digits, 0 to 7, and digit number 8, digit number 9 is not allowed under this one. See, next one is int n equal to minus 0, 1, 9. See, minus okay, 0 okay, 1 okay, and what about this one, 9? So 9 digit 9 is not allowed in octal number system. So this declaration is not allowed in C++. Right? Okay, these are about octal number system, octal constant. Next, hexadecimal constant. As its name indicates, hexadecimal means base 16. So base 16 means it uses total 16 digits, 0 to 9. Hexadecimal, it uses digits 0 to 9 and A to F. Digit 10 can be represented by using A, 11 B, 12 C, 13 D, 14 E, 15 F, like this. So it uses total 16 digits, 0 to 9, A to F. And here, to represent hexadecimal constant, it should begin with 0x. 0x, it may be capital letter X or lowercase x, not a problem. So, in case if you are using this one, hexadecimal number system, it should begin with int m equal to 0x 16 ACF. 16 ACF. Int m equal to 0x 16 ACF, that indicates hexadecimal number system. Here we can use lowercase x or uppercase x. So that indicates hexadecimal constant. Hexadecimal constants. So all other digits, it should belong to the octal number hexadecimal number system. Right? See here also int n equal to, you can use negatively signed number or positively signed number, it's allowed. Okay, these are about hexadecimal base 16 constants. Base 16 constants. Next one is unsigned constants. See, unsigned constant means sometimes what happens is there are 4 types of data types that you already studied in last year: integer, floating point, character, double. And here floating point, that indicates both whole number and its fractional part also. That means number with fractional part is called as floating point, and its next version or extended version is double. See, in case if you are using integer constant or any other constants like it includes only the whole number. So what happens is its range minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. Its range like this. So whole numbers minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. If you are using the number above this one or below this particular number, minus, above plus 32,767. So in that case, we need long data type. And here long data type can be used to represent the unsigned numbers, and it is called as unsigned constant. And unsigned constant that will represented by using the suffix uppercase u or lowercase u. For example, you can use like this: int x equal to 1567 capital uppercase u or lowercase u. Here we can use minus or plus also. Here u indicates unsigned. Here instead of lowercase u, you can use uppercase also. Okay, these are about unsigned constants. Okay, these are all integer constants. So under integer constant, it uses, four types: decimal constant, octal, hexadecimal, unsigned constant. And next one is floating point constant. Floating point constant means number with fractional part. Number with the fractional part that we already studied in last year also. It's very simple to represent, and here we can represent like this: pi equal to 3.142, pi equal to 3.142. So like this we can represent. Okay, these are about floating point constant. And the next constant is character constant. Under non-numeric constant, it is character constant and string constant. So what do you mean by character constant? A character constant is a single character. A character constant is a single character enclosed within a pair of single quotes. Within a pair of single quotes, it is called as character constant. So that includes any one or single character. Here it may use special character or any other characters like numbers, digits, and alphabets, etc. So it is called as character constant. And next one is string constant. So what do you mean by string constant? Here a string constant is a sequence of characters. A string constant is a sequence of characters or group of characters enclosed within a pair of double quotes. Within a pair of double quotes, it is called as string constant. And here string constant that must be terminated by a null character. Null character that we can represent /0. Here /0, and that is to indicate string constant. Here we can represent string constant like this: character name of 3 equal to SAS, like this. Character name of 3 equal to, within double quotes, SAS. So here we are using 3 characters, and here it is not visible. /0 is not visible, and assumption is that should be terminated or ended by a null character. So these are about string constant. So what do you mean by string constant? A string constant is a sequence of characters or group of characters terminated by a null character. And here characters may be any alphabets, digits, special characters, etc.